Yeah, that's right. Just a little bit of a ultrasonic clean for a brand new record that my buddy graciously gave me. It's actually a box set of two. Some Bill Evans. Yeah. I might do a video on this and its merits because, yeah. If you're a vinyl lover and you like your vinyl sounding as crystal clear as possible, yeah, you need to look into the Humming Guru, but the second iteration, as it has some updates that work pretty well. But that's a video for another time. Oh, and always just distilled water. Yeah. All right, let's get out of the dungeon here. Yeah. All right. There we are. That's where I like to be. All right, so what we're going to do here is we're going to lift this here and start it from the beginning. Some Bill Evans. I don't know if I'm going to get nicked on copyright, but it doesn't matter because I'm not making any money off these videos. This is just for entertainment purposes, y'all. All right, so what's the point of this video? This video is essentially a 1 week review or recap of this Bryston 2.5B cubed. So yeah, I've owned a Bryston. It was a 4B squared back in the day, and the very same gentleman that bought my amplifier actually lent me this one. He is running a couple of 7B amplifiers in his system right now. This is obviously his as well. He's going to be doing some pretty crazy amplification with his setup, but I really just wanted to give my opinions on what I'm hearing in comparison to these little bad boys. Now, I know my previous video, if anyone watched it, I did have some opinions on that. But with a little bit more time, I want to say that my opinions have modified. Not necessarily changed, but definitely modified a little bit. Let me see if I can zoom out a little bit. No, not when I'm recording. All right, well, you know, let's just get right to the point. Let's turn this down just a little bit here. Oh, that's up. Let's go down. All right. So yeah, have a little seat here in the sweet spot and talk about the Bryston 2.5B cubed. All right. So, he had asked me very early on when I was doing the A/B comparison between these little amplifiers and this. He's like, "Oh, you know, is the Bryston louder?" And at first, I didn't really understand. No, I understood the question. To me, it just didn't really make sense because I was thinking, if I'm setting my preamp to the same output level and I attach an amplifier and I'm well under the, any top peak performance of any device. In other words, there's a lot of headroom still left, right? So if I'm, let's just say at 10, where we are right now, and I plug that in, and then I plug that in my head, I was like, yeah, there should be no sonic difference in terms of dB output. No, this is a little bit louder at the exact same front end setting, specifically the preamp, than these. And I know in my previous video I had said that it felt like there's a little bit more dynamics from this at lower levels. And I did another A/B. I put these amplifiers back in. I plugged them up and I love these little things. Plugged them in, hooked everything back up. I just had them resting on top of the Bryston, which was kind of cool. But anyways, yeah, so did a quick listen, and the takeaway that I'm getting from what I'm hearing is that I like the sonics of this device a lot. I feel that the sonics of these two amplifiers plugged in to the same system can yield very similar results of this, but I'm going to try and on the fly explain what this amplifier does. I've watched so many reviews on so many different audio things, and the words, I think, are the limiting factor. It's the choke point of trying to relay a sonic reality verbally. I mean, anyways, I'm going to use it. I'm going to use the word. Having this Bryston in makes my system just a tad more effortless. I don't know if it just happens to be some type of synergy that this system has, including this Bryston, but having this Bryston in, yes, those amplifiers do everything that this Bryston can do, but there's something about having it in here that when I put it in and I swap it out with my previous amplifiers, my system seems to be just a tad more dynamic. Now, again, I've stated all the facts that could possibly be, skewing my thought process with this. Like, there's a lot of psychoacoustics that could be happening. There's a state of mind. There's, did I gym today? Yes. Was I tired? Have I recently worked a night shift? Yes. All these type of things play into how you hear something. Your hydration, your, a lot of things play into it. But consistently, for the past week, 6 days, 7 days almost, having this amplifier in has been absolutely pleasurable. Now, I had absolutely loved my 4B SST squared from Bryston. And again, as stated, I had sold it to my friend that has lent me this. He then went ahead and sold that again, and he ended up getting a couple of 7Bs that he uses in his system right now. And we've kind of come to the conclusion that there is definitely a sonic performance that Bryston can give. Not that other amplifiers can't give, but what I've heard from this Bryston is when I say it's effortless, yeah, these amplifiers, when I'm sitting in my sweet spot, I can sit here, look forward, and I'm hearing sounds, off of my left and my right over here. I'm hearing them. This Bryston pushes those same sounds out and at a lower level. And I want to say that it actually has a little bit more heft, a little bit more bass than these. Now, in reality, it is kind of inconsequential, because all I need to do when I have those in is essentially just, turn it up a few dB, and then I'm experiencing the same thing this was doing at that dB. What does that mean? How do you interpret that? That's all up to you. But, the margins. It's the margins that we are experiencing when we're dumping money into something like our systems. The time we spend, how we set up our rooms, what does that mean to us? What are the funds that are available to us? I know I went over the cost in the last video, but again, $700, $800, depending on what site you go to each. So 2 of those, so $1,700 to $1,800. No, you know what I mean. Plus or minus taxes and all, import, shipping, whatever. In and around $5,000. I absolutely love the sound. I think there is some type of synergy that's happening with this amplifier, this Bryston, with these speakers, with the updated crossovers, with the specific cables that I'm using. You don't think cables make a difference? Well, okay, that's fine. Live your life. That's fine. Cables make a difference in my system. That's what I'll say. And this is a very pleasurable experience, and I would wholeheartedly encourage individuals in the market for amplifiers to, if they are available, check out Audition Bryston amplifiers, their newest renditions. I mean, sure, if you can find an older one too, you're going to be very happy. I will say I would start, if you were buying a used Bryston, I wouldn't go any lower than a squared. If you're going lower, I would be using that in like a home theater system. So you're just pushing your left and right speakers or rear speakers or center channel or whatever. But for critical listening, they made some changes in the squared and then further those changes in the cubed that sonically really, really flesh a system out, a well-sorted system. So let me just raise the needle on this here. Let's go up. Ooh. Pull that carbon fiber arm over. Yeah. So, my 1 week review, absolutely fabulous, this amplifier. And I think it's something like 125 watts or 135 watts per channel into 8 ohms. These, I think, are rated at 8, go down to 6 or 4, but I think all speakers kind of vary regardless anyways, just depending on load. But we'll say 130 watts per channel. My 4B SST squared was, I think, 400 or 500. I think it was 500 into 4 ohms and like 350 or 400 or something like that into 8 ohms or something. Point being, the wattage, that's a tough one, because I used to have a Prima Luna, just their basic Evo 100. And that, I changed out the tubes. I put some very nice gold lion tubes in there. And I gotta say, at I think 42, maybe 47 watts per channel, I was running some Linton Heritage 85th edition speakers. And that hit so hard. It hit so clean, so deep, so full. It's... I don't think it's about the wattage output. I think it's about the build and the philosophy of build behind an amplifier that makes all the difference in the world. Now, here's brass tacks here. So when my buddy comes back to me and is like, Dion, I want my amplifier back. Yeah, I'm going to give it back. Obviously, it's his. Am I going to miss it? Absolutely. I like the sonics and the effortlessness that it provides, but I don't feel that putting these little amplifiers back into my current system, that I inherently lose any sonic enjoyment. Yeah. Okay. These amplifiers, I still stand by, bang for buck, are absolutely amazing. I said in a previous video that I think they would work best with large driver, large excursion types of speakers because they err on the side of precision. So if you have power and precision, I feel that you can get, or you can glean, a lot of clean bass, mids, and highs in large excursions. So I'm talking 10 inches, 12 inches, 15 inches. Yeah, you put those amps into any system like that with a good front end, good recordings, you're going to have wonderful experiences, as I do with these. These are 10-inch drivers here. And, of course, I'm running a subwoofer. And the subwoofer is, for me, the way I have it, is XLR cables, these cables here, right directly from my preamplifier, right? So I'm running XLR from my preamplifier into my subwoofer, and it is, separate from what the amplifier is putting out. Some people run cables from their amplifier to their sub. That can work as well. But yeah, I just want to say that after 6-7 days of having this in my system, yeah, I can give it a, can we get this in here? That's a thumbs up. A thumbs up emoji. This is a solid, well-built, no nonsense form and function amplifier that can deliver to, I think, a multitude of well-spec'd speakers and front end. I think if you know what you're doing with your system, you have decent made speakers, and you're looking for an amplifier, I can back what I hear from Bryston. And even starting with something as small as the 2.5B cubed, yeah, you start there. Sure, if you're pushing, some, massive 5.5, 6 feet tall speakers, whatever, with 3 10-inch drivers, sure, you're going to want a little bit more. It's just physics, right? A little bit more power output. But if you're running a normal system, this is going to fit the bill and deliver in spades. The high points of this amplifier, for my system, ease of use in terms of hooking it up, cleanliness of sound, dynamics at all ranges, so low to high. And the beauty of a nice system is that you don't have to turn it up loud in order to get the visceral feeling of the sound. This amplifier, there we go. This amplifier gives that. You don't have to turn it up loud to get all the dynamics that you want. Pressurizing the room, lows to highs. It is an excellent experience. So yeah, that's my, I guess we're going to call it a 1-week review of the Bryston 2.5B cubed. Whoever cares, glad you enjoyed. If you don't care, why the fuck are you watching? Yeah, boys, enjoy your listening. And maybe in the future I'll come back with another video. Oh, I might make a video on that cleaning device, my ultrasonic cleaner from Humming Guru. We'll see. But yeah, this is a good little setup. This works well. Peace out, y'all.